Oh, just say scrap.
Oh, just say scrap.
As something new.
As something new.
It's Make It Mondays just for you. So come and see what we are creating. Make It Mondays just for you.
Hello everybody, so we know that this kit is very, very late. It actually came out with Close to My Heart in 2023, but we actually did this over this past Christmas, and I just totally forgot that I had recorded it. So here we are editing it now. It is a really, really adorable kit, so if you haven't and it's been sitting in your stash like ours had, here's a video to help you create it. Or if you just kind of like watching videos where we make things, you can kind of follow along and, if you like what you see, you can create it with whatever papers that you have. Unfortunately, we do not have this paper anymore in the store, but if you have the paper and you are looking for this cutting guide or anything, just send us a message and we can get you what you need. So here we go. So this kit makes 6 different cards, and they are super fun, super cute, and super snowy. So they are really nice because the colors are more blues and greens and browns instead of your typical Christmas cards, which would be more red. So these are really good for anybody if you don't know what holiday they celebrate or if they don't celebrate Christmas. So just a really, really fun, different card to make. The one thing you will need with these is you do need some circle thin cuts. So we just happen to have this one. This is one of the Close to My Heart ones, but if you need a circle thin cut, you could always cut them on the Cricut too. This part is the only hard part. So as you see here, I actually washi taped the papers into my thin cut as you saw there, and then I put glue on it before I laid it down. This was a lot easier because as you see, we created a really cute circle there with just kind of strips of paper. So when I put it through the die cutting machine, as you saw, I did washi tape the die onto the paper, but then I actually put a layer across all the papers. And without removing that, they stayed in the place that I wanted them to be. So then we just added our gel pen onto this, added our sentiment, and then we have to add our snowflake. So the acrylic snowflakes are really cute for this whole set, and you can actually color acrylic as long as you have alcohol markers, and they adhere to your projects by using glue dots. So glue dots, love, love, love glue dots. You can order some through Stampin' Up. So this is the number that they are, and I always recommend just having glue dots on hand because they are so useful for so many different things. But here you see our second card. We are layering, and when I have those tiny small strips, it is always more useful to use liquid glue. That is at least what I like to do. I don't like to use a runner when I'm using those. I like to use liquid glue just because it makes the line more across the entire thing and I'm not getting anything else super sticky. But there is our second card in this set, and then we are moving on to card number 3. So I know I am moving pretty quick with this kit, but it is just so cute and so fun to do. I actually accidentally cut this paper wrong, so I just brought in my cutter and trimmed that down. But there are so many different things that you can also do with this kit. If you saw in the very, very beginning when I took the inks and the water brushes and we did all the splattering, I tried to look through the entire kit first to make my life easier when it came to putting the kits together. So that way everything was already pre-done and I honestly just had to add those papers right on to the card, or the card base was already done. So I do suggest before you do any of these kind of kits, look ahead to make sure that if there's a technique that you're going to be doing on one card, if it's in any of the other cards or layouts or projects that you're doing, make sure you're doing it all in the beginning because it's a lot easier for cleanup and it will make your process go a lot faster later on when you're putting things together. So we are just moving right along here with our cards, and as you see, I'm kind of like pulling some of my glue apart as we're doing this. That's because I got to the end of my tape runner here, and I really like to use every single piece of glue that I have. So as you can kind of tell, I'm getting a lot of glue out of my tape runner as we're going along here. So I always suggest kind of going through, especially if you have those really long ones that are like 150 feet. At the very end of them, they have probably an extra 12 inches that you can use in the very end of your crafting. So I always like to go through it, and especially with a video that's sped up like this, I can kind of go through my tape runners a little bit quicker, where it's sped up, where if I'm doing this for Technique Tuesday and stuff, it's a little bit harder. But we are just moving along. Like I said, that liquid glue really, really does come in handy. Stampin' Up! Does have a few different ones. So they do have the repositionable one of the blue one I'm using, the Tombow, and they also do have something like a liquid glass. That one I will say is a little bit thicker, I guess, than like Barely Art Glue or something like that. It comes out a little bit quicker, so for something this fine, I definitely would use the Tombow. But as we're getting close to the end of our cards, you see that we are just adding those beautiful snowflakes and using our white gel pen quite a bit on these. So I really love how the white gel pen kind of just pulls everything together. That's just something that I use on a lot of cards, or a black um, journaling pen, something that will kind of make things pop if you want to do that on your cards. And as you see on this one, we did some splattering in the very beginning with a sapphire, and see that big splash in the middle? That will actually be covered. So if you are doing any splattering and you kind of get a big blob that you don't love, do not worry, because guess what? It will be covered. So that is kind of just why I did everything in the very beginning, because if I really did mess up something bad, I could just recut it and splash it again. That's kind of goes for everything that you do. There are no mistakes in scrapbooking, only extra embellishing, and that's kind of the motto that we really live by. So if you ever make a mistake on something, don't get super frustrated. Don't just throw the whole project out. There are always ways that you can fix it. If for some reason one of your splatters might be on the outside, where when you put all your cardstocks down, it's not covered, guess what? Move an embellishment. Nobody's going to see what the original project is. I know that's very difficult for some people to kind of change around the projects or the instructions that you have. Guess what? It's okay if you need to do it. That's kind of something we like to get people out of their comfort zones. So if you've ever taken classes with us or anything, you kind of know that we like to push your boundaries and teach you different things that you might not do when you're scrapbooking by yourself. So if you make a mistake, do not throw it out. Just continue to use it. So, moving along. That is a stamping technique called second generation stamping, and by doing so, we are creating a background with the winter greeting stamp, but it is a lighter color because we are using that second generation stamping. And to create the background, and so it just kind of wasn't lines of the words just in one spot, I did continuously like move the word over, so you kind of get a randomized pattern on the background where it's not just saying winter greetings in lines down the paper. So that's just something to think about. And I did mess up a little bit here. I did not actually have the second circle to cut, so I'm sorry about that. There was supposed to be another circle on the other side of that, but like I just said, we kind of made it our own, and if we give that to somebody, maybe we'll do something else on the other side. But thank you for watching this Make It Monday. Once again, we are sorry that it is a little bit later, but we hope that these cards inspire you, and maybe you can get a head start on your holiday cards now. We'll see you next time.